video, we're going to talk about purchasing power parity. See, the term purchasing power parity, let's dissect and understand what it means. Purchasing power, that means any currency will have the ability to buy goods and services in the country where that currency is in circulation. For example, rupee is in circulation in India, dollar is in circulation in US. So rupee in India can buy certain goods and services, dollar in US can buy certain goods and services. Now, we take the same set of goods and services and we look at the cost in rupees in India and we look at the cost in dollars in US and we equate that. That's how we get purchasing power parity. It's that simple. So we, in this particular lecture, will look at in depth about the purchasing power parity, and then we'll go on to discuss about Big Mac index. Okay. So when we let's just take rupee and dollar. In the market there is an exchange rate for rupee versus dollar. Who determines that exchange rate? It's the market, because there is certain demand for rupee and certain supply for rupee, and then there is demand for dollar and certain supply for dollar. Depending on how the currencies are moving, how their demand is working out, that exchange rate is arrived at. So it's completely market determined. There is no a single individual or an institution tweaking the value of rupee against dollar. Purchasing power parity, on the other hand, is a subjective calculation that we do with the help of a certain basket. Okay. Now, imagine you go to a supermarket in India and you take certain items and you calculate the value of those items in rupees. Now, you go to United States. Then, there in a supermarket or in some place, you purchase the same set of goods, and you calculate the value of that in dollars. And so, we bought the same set of goods here and there. So, we equate the value, that is dollars, the cost of that items in dollars, the cost of that items in rupees, and we equate that and we arrive at a certain exchange rate. And that's called purchasing power parity. Okay. Now, how is purchasing power parity any different from the market determined exchange rate? See, the market determined exchange rate is dependent on foreign currency inflows and the forex reserves that India has, and the India's growth rate and India's dependence on certain global supplies such as oil and gold and diamonds. See, these are various factors that influence the value of rupee. So the value of rupee against dollar is completely incorrect. Purchasing power parity is considered a better exchange value. We won't be able to change the fate of rupee right now. But what we can do is we can try and understand how this works. That's all right. That much we can do. So the purchasing power parity is a true exchange between both the currencies, give or take a few rupees here and there. So when we use purchasing power parity in order to compute India's GDP, as in we calculate India's GDP in rupees. Now, while converting that India's GDP in rupees into dollars, if we use PPP exchange rate instead of market, then India will become third largest economy in the world. And if we use that similar PPP methodology for calculation of China's GDP as well, Chinese economy would become the world's largest economy, followed by US, which is followed by India. So that's the ranking order of the GDPs of these of the top three countries. First would be China, second would be US, and third would be India. So let's now understand Big Mac index. Big Mac is this. It's a very truly simple methodology to calculate exchange rate using PPP. If you take a Big Mac burger, cost of that burger in US, cost of that burger in India, right? The Big Mac burger in January 2021 costs around $5.3, $5.4 in US. In India, that very burger will cost 190 rupees. So since it cost $5.3 there and 190 rupees here, we equate that 190 rupees with $5.3 and we will get an exchange rate of 33 rupees per dollar. Now that is gross undervaluation of rupee, because the market value of rupee today is at 73 goddamn rupees. Sorry, the market value of dollar in India is 73 rupees. And that exchange rate is flawed. And the better representation of the exchange rate would be purchasing power parity, which brings rupee to somewhere around 35-40 rupees. You might ask, then why is rupee in such a dire situation? Because I've already told you that the market rate of rupee is dependent on a lot of other factors, and that is how we are dependent on the world for our goods and for several goods and several services. And then there is foreign exchange reserves that India holds, and how much reserves do we have? And every day there is a movement of rupee up and down, as in the movement of rupee in and out of the country, and there is demand for dollar, demand for rupee. How is that demand playing currently in the market? So there are several factors: currency inflows, exchange rate, and then the global dependence of India's global dependence for certain goods and services. These are the factors that play a crucial role in determining the India's rupee's value in the forex market. In fact, in 2017, India's GDP in dollars was 2.6 trillion. But if we use PPP to compute India's GDP, that would be $9.5 trillion. See, there is such a massive difference. And it's only because of that dirty market exchange rate. So PPP, we sincerely believe, is a better exchange rate than market-based exchange rate. And I sincerely hope things change in that direction. But there is no single institution that can work to make this happen. We can only hope, we can only talk, we can only discuss, and we can only understand. That's all we can do for now. All right, thank you.